Lao People's Revolutionary Party will hold the 10th Congress of the LPRP in January. The mass party members gathering is held every 5 years to highlight the preceding 5 years' achievements and to set goals for the next 5 years. In welcoming the upcoming event, we would like to present history of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, Part 1. Warmly welcome and congratulations to the 10th Congress of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party.
After the Indochina Communist Party was established in 1930, the Phak Khaen Lao Lao Party of Lao region came into being 4 years later in 1934. Before the Indochina Communist Party was founded, French colonialists dominated the Indochina countries of Laos, Vietnam and Cambodia in 1893. They assumed power in the three countries and heavily oppressed the people. But the people rose up to fight for their liberty and to shake off the yoke of the French aggressors. They refused to be enslaved and were determined never to surrender their motherland. The situation in Cambodia, Vietnam and Laos was similar to that in other parts of the world, and the citizens of many countries faced the same difficulties and took up arms against their common enemy. In looking for ways for free Vietnam in 1911, President Ho Chi Minh left his homeland and visited countries in Europe to study world movements in order to seek ways to liberate his country. He studied deeply the lessons of Russia's October Revolution in 1917 under the great and capable leadership of the Bolshevik Party led by Lenin, which won a massive victory. President Ho Chi Minh learned about the great legacy of Lenin with respect to national issues and colonization. He concluded correctly that only socialism and communism could free oppressed nations and laborers from the yoke of slavery. If the liberation of a nation were to be achieved, there was no option but to take the road of a workers' revolution. After studying the valuable lessons he had learned overseas, President Ho Chi Minh brought Marxism and Leninism to Indochina and imbued them in a procession of youth, workers, students, officials, and common people nationwide to encourage them to rise up. He was assigned by the International Communist Party to establish the Indochina Communist Party, which he founded on February 3, 1930, led by President Ho Chi Minh. The movement began its struggle on behalf of the people of Indochina. President Ho Chi Minh formulated a detailed strategic direction for revolution in Indochina and pointed out the fate of the people under the French colonialists. He highlighted the central disputes in Indochina between workers, peasants and laborers and their French masters and feudalism, and between landlords and capitalists. The main task facing the revolutionaries was to cut down the French colonialists and stamp out their feudal regime and restore independence to Indochina. The birth of the Indochina Communist Party was a significant landmark and a turning point in the history of the revolutionaries in the three Indochina countries. It gave purpose and direction to the struggle of the people in Indochina and lighted their way. The birth of the Indochina Communist Party also connected the revolutionaries in Indochina with revolutions taking place in other parts of the world.